Let's get to our main story. 4 churches have joined forces to criticise the cuts to the welfare budget, saying that they'll have a disproportionate effect on families already struggling to make ends meet.
The homeless charity Crisis is also voicing concern and warning that the changes, which come into force tomorrow, could lead to more people losing their homes and relying on food banks. But the government says it's unfair that some people receive more on benefits than those who work.
I, the Right Reverend Justin Portal Welby.
Justin Welby, inaugurated as leader of the Church of England last week, has already challenged the government's proposals to cap increases in benefits. He claimed the changes would harm families already struggling to make ends meet. Critics say limiting increases in welfare to below the rate of inflation will impose real terms cuts on poor families. They claim that children will be 9 times more likely to be affected than adults. The 4 churches, Baptist, Methodist, United Reformed and the Church of Scotland, say cutting welfare has been made easier for the government because of a false picture of the poorest in society being painted by the media.
The British public has come to believe things about the poorest in our society which are just straightforwardly not true. The public believes that the major cause of poverty is laziness, yet the majority of people in poverty work. How can that be the case? There are many things which we believe that are not true, and it's time to start telling the truth about people in poverty rather than just spreading these myths.
But the Department for Work and Pensions insists that society suffers when people are paid more to be unemployed than to work. A spokesman said it's not fair that benefit claimants can receive higher incomes than families who are in work, in some cases more than double the average household income. The coalition of churches say that Easter is a time of hope and celebration, whose message is that all people, including the poorest, have a value that society should acknowledge. Robert Piggott, BBC News.
Well, our political correspondent Alan Sodhi is in our central London studio. Alan, morning to you. You're never going to win votes by cutting benefits, are you?
Well, it depends on your perspective, you know, because the government, although they are very well aware that there was always going to be criticism from charities, from religious groups, from perhaps some others as well, I think the government feels that there are quite a lot of voters who will agree with at least some, if not all, of what they're doing, because the argument that the government is making is that the welfare bill as a whole accounts for about 1/3 of public spending. Now, they say that if they don't do anything, then that bill will keep on rising. And with some of the changes that are coming in, they insist that actually in cash terms, they're not actually cutting the amount that they spend on certain things, for example, the new version of the disability living allowance, but instead just making changes to try and stop it from going up quite so much in the future. On the other hand, as we're hearing there from those religious groups, also the charity Crisis this morning saying that this will hit some of the most vulnerable in society, particularly picking on the combination of the several different changes to benefits that are all beginning to come in from next week, although some of them will take a little while to kick in fully. They will be rolled out gradually. But, as I say, the government is adamant that what it is doing is fair, and it's dismissing the criticism this morning from the charity Crisis that this could lead to a rise in homelessness, that it could lead to more people using food banks, as simply scaremongering.
Alan, many thanks to you. Alan Sodhi there, our correspondent, and we're going to be speaking to